Okay, good to go.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome all to the Bridgewater Conservation Commission meeting. It is April 27th and the time is now 6:10. We have a quorum, so we can get started. For the record so far, members and staff that we have present are Eileen Prisco, member, Sarah Sperber, member, Marilyn McDonald, member. And Bob Ruley, the Director of Community and Economic Development, and myself, Wendy Smith, Chair. I'll now read the governor's order for online meetings into the record. Disclosure pursuant to section 20 of chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This meeting of the Conservation Commission for the town of Bridgewater will be hybrid and accessible to the public through remote participation to the greatest extent possible. There will be no public attendance permitted. Citizens who wish to tune into the meeting may do so via Zoom, and the link and number are always located on bridgewaterma.org website. Tonight on the agenda, we have call to order, approval of minutes, public comments, public hearings. We have new business and old business, and then Conservation Commission business and adjournment. So with that, the call to order is done. Approval of minutes. I don't think we had any in the packet. I don't know if anybody else came across it. I looked at 256.
I did not.
And I did not see it. Did you say you didn't see it?
I did not see it either, so I don't.
Okay.
I think those were missing as well.
Okay, all right, so that's.
And I didn't get to tell Nicole they were in there, so my fault.
Right, and well, and I only could open it on my phone, so I couldn't scroll through it because it wasn't loading in my phone. I didn't do it on the computer until this afternoon, and it was too late by then. All right, so we don't have any minutes to approve. Next up, we have public comment. So at this point in the meeting, we would ask anyone that was in the waiting room online, if you had a question or a comment for the Conservation Commission that you wanted to ask or state, that this would be the time that you would do it. You would use the raise your hand or just raise your hand or release your maybe unmute, or maybe
There's no one.
There's no one. All right.
There's no one.
So I don't need to chatter on about that then. So we're going to go a little out of order. We're going to go to old business. We're going to do the notice of intent for 6 Aldrich Road, map 20, lot 77. Applicant representative is Alton Beach Silver Engineering. DEP file number is SE1161515. So this is old business. We've already had green cards and an ad. So with that, Larry, are you speaking on behalf of this project tonight?
Yes, Larry Silva from Silver Engineering Associates, and Rebecca Baptista is with me as well.
Okay.
So where we last stood with this has been going on for a while. And this refiling was prompted by a minor change in the wetland line from back in the days when Walter Hewitson, the late Walter Hewitson, when he had flagged it, versus the more recent flagging by Ken Thompson. There was one area where there was a tiny difference, but it prompted us to be closer than 25 feet to the wetlands. And so we refiled with the commission. We went back a couple of rounds of comments back and forth with town engineer was reviewing for the commission. And the most recent letter that we submitted was on April 3rd, in which we went item through item of the remaining outstanding issues, which we feel we addressed them. And those were reflected in updated plans, and those are the ones that you have in front of you. So, I mean, I don't know how detailed you want to get in terms of the items that were left, but they were related mostly to stormwater and making sure that we had addressed the issues that were still outstanding.
Correct.
Wendy, I can just add that subsequent to not the submission we most recently got, the Larry and his team and the applicants met with us at town hall. You know, I expressed my concerns in terms of some of the revisions for the stormwater that I wanted to see. I can represent that they have in fact made those adjustments to the plan, the most recent plan that's been submitted. So from my standpoint, they fulfilled what we asked them to do to address those issues.
Mhm. Thank you, Bob. I have a question, Larry. It's not, I know our base is looking at stormwater drainage. I'm just curious, did they change the whole plan on this? Were there more houses that were added?
No,
Just
no, actually, no, there were no changes to the number of houses. It's been exactly what it was as originally approved by the ZBA. The difference only here was the wetland, the difference between where the wetlands were, which then equates to the 25-foot setback for the wetland buffer zone, meant that some of the drainage that we had that was within that area had to be adjusted in order to be able to make it work.
I
And
got you.
that's all it was. There was no increase in density. But I
Okay,
would call out to you is that if the commission votes to close and issue an order conditions, that you include some specific reference to the debris that was within the wetland area, that some of the neighbors have previously indicated that they wanted to make sure that those became part of the order conditions, to make sure that that area gets cleaned up
Mhm.
as part of the work.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that discussion. Can you tell me on the plan, the stormwater drainage, it looks like number 3 and number 8. I'm just curious how they work, because they look like they're under the corners of the units. There's like 4 in a row, right outside the 25-foot. And then there's TP3 that's like right after, outside of the 50. And then there's a TP8. I just wonder how they work if there's a building over it.
I don't have, can you bring up the plan?
Oh, I don't know how to
Rebecca,
do.
you can share your screen if you want.
Yeah, just give me a second. I gotta transfer it and I will, but TPs are test pits, so maybe we should look at what that is.
Oh, that's not part of the, I thought those were the drainage, where the drainage things were
No,
going.
Let me, again, I gotta transfer the files. I was working on that and I didn't get to finish.
Okay,
I apologize. Let me do this. Grab my thumb drive. It's not done yet. Sorry.
that's okay.
It's done now. That, sharing screen.
I can help you with technology issues if you'd like.
Yeah, thanks.
Is he being funny?
Yes. Let's see. Okay, I can't tell what's on the screen, so tell me if I got a plan.
Right now,
No,
it's
not
Village
one.
at Milebrook. You're opening.
I
it.
think
You're in a
it's trying to load.
All right, so which page were you looking at?
It hasn't loaded yet, Rebecca.
Doesn't finish loading.
But we see your prescription drug list.
Yeah,
You being funny?
no,
Well, we don't see the list itself. We only see the title number. the
Okay, I
keynote
was
number.
sharing something I was not supposed to be sharing. Thank you for, try that on.
Hey,
That's,
There you go.
that's the one that I was just looking at. There is another overlay that shows the houses.
Yep,
So,
going.
but you can just do it from that. The TP3 and 8 are the ones that were underneath the house. So I
Yeah,
thought
those are
that
test
that
pits.
was where the drainage systems were gonna go. I'm not right in that then?
yeah, no, so you see those are the symbols, the test pits, and if you look on the left side, you see that those are the actual soil logs. So when we were doing the work in the beginning, we had to determine what the soils were like in the area that we were doing the drainage. So sometimes they're exactly where the drainage is going, and sometimes they're a little bit off from it. But
Oh,
those
okay.
Those were just test pits during the engineering evaluation.
Okay. So
gonna-
the drainage may or may not go in that particular area?
Yep,
The
so,
drainage is going where the drainage is. The test pits may have been, because they were done a number of years ago, some of those. So
Mhm.
they may have been done a little bit off from where the drainage actually ended up, maybe a few feet off from where it ends up.
Okay. I guess I'm just not real familiar with,
okay, so these are, yeah.
Yeah, so those are just test pits done at that time to understand, what the soils were like and what groundwater conditions were. That's
okay,
what for. You can see there's even some further towards the front of the site, which were other test pits were done. And when we do them outside of the area where the drainage is, sometimes they're done just to determine groundwater from for us to be able to determine what basement elevation should be at and so forth.
okay. So what is the grid looking thing that's underneath the test pits in this particular diagram?
All
In
right.
the floor? Yeah,
Those are the chambers. Those are, that is the drainage structure right there.
okay, okay,
Underground storage for stormwater.
got you. All right,
Yeah, this is actually from the point of view of the folks living in those last couple of units back there. This is actually better for them than the earlier plan. The
Mhm.
earlier had more of an open kind of basin, and this here is more in chambers. So it's more of an underground kind of system.
okay. Okay, great. Thanks. All right, commission members, anybody have any questions, concerns, comments that they want to make?
I don't. One of my questions you guys just answered, so thank you.
I don't
Thanks.
really have any questions at this time. Again, not just coming back on and not really reviewing things. It sounds like Bob's done his homework on it and they've met the satisfactory requirements under the stormwater and the test pit. So I've got no further comments. Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks, Marilyn. Eileen, anything?
Nope, don't have any questions.
Okay, great. So with that, do we have a motion to close an issue? Do we have enough info? Oh, I should
Is
ask.
there
if-
anybody in the public that has? a
Yeah,
question?
is there anybody in the public, anybody online?
No.
Bob?
No.
No, nobody's out there. Okay. Easy enough. So with that, do we have enough information that we can close an issue or do we need to? What do we need to do?
I think that's at your discretion.
Okay,
The chair could entertain a motion to close.
Yeah,
All
You need a
right.
motion to close the public hearing and
all right.
then,
Well, I know sometimes you can do it both at the same time if there's enough information, but so do I have a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing on. Oops, let me get back to my notes now. Sorry, I'm on two screens. Let me just get the right address.
It's the 6 Aldrich.
Rebecca, if you could take your screen down, please.
I would love to. You bet.
All right, I'll make a motion to close on 6 Aldridge Road, map 20, lot 77.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. And a roll call vote, Marilyn,
Aye.
Eileen,
Aye.
Sarah,
Hi.
thank you. And Harry's not on, correct?
Not yet, no.
Okay, and myself, Wendy, aye. And do we have a motion to issue? We do need the order of conditions that they talked about before with cleanup of debris or whatever is out on the edges of that or whatever of the property.
Yeah, well, when Nicole does the minutes, we'll make sure that we incorporate all that into the order of conditions and then we'll circulate that to all of the members before we move any further with it.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion to issue?
I can make a motion.
I think, did I just hear Bob correctly? He was gonna review things before we make another motion to issue approval? Or?
I think you can make you can make the motion to issue. I don't think you have to, we'll take care of writing the language, so it's incorporating everything it needs to, then we'll circulate that to the members.
All right, I'll make a motion for approval of 6 Aldrich Road, map 20, lot 77.
You? A
Second.
second? Thank you. And a roll call vote, Marilyn McDonald,
Aye.
Eileen Prisco,
Aye.
Sarah Sperber,
Aye.
and myself, Wendy Smith, aye. Thank you. 6
Thank you.
Aldrich Road is all set, you guys.
Thank you.
very
Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
So Wendy, I believe that the applicant's representative for the first agenda item has arrived.
Oh, good.
Let me just
Hello.
find.
Hi.
We apologize for the technological roller coaster we put you on. Let me just
Okay.
get the ad.
So this is for the new business. It's a request for determination, 0 Plymouth Street, map 22, lot 45. The applicant representative is Select Energy Development, Green Sail Environmental LLC. It has to do with solar panels down at the college by the field. And we had received green cards and Bob has the legal ad.
And well, I'm trying to find the legal ad.
Bob had the legal ad.
It did.
We're doing really good
Okay.
today, guys.
Got it.
We're rolling with it.
All right. 0 Plymouth Street, Bridgewater, legal notice, notice of public hearing, Conservation Commission, Bridgewater, Massachusetts. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 137, Section 40, in the town of Bridgewater, local wetland bylaw, the Bridgewater Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on April 27, 2023 for a request for determination of applicability filed by Select Energy Development. The applicant proposes the construction of 3 solar canopies over the existing parking lot of Bridgewater State University with no alteration to resource areas and within the buffer zone to a regulated natural resource area, subject to protection. Property is owned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, is located at 0 Plymouth Street, map 22, parcel 45. Please contact the Bridgewater Conservation Office at 508-697-0950 for the time and location or link for the virtual participation. All interested parties are encouraged to attend.
Okey-doke. Thank you, Bob. So with that, the representative that's here for Select Energy Development, Green Sail Environmental, if you'd like to introduce yourself and then just explain the project.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jose Pizarro, project manager with Green Seal Environmental. And I will try to share the screen if I can.
Yep, you should be able to, Jose.
Are you guys able to see?
Well, we can see the
Yep,
agenda.
we can see it. Yep.
Okay, all right, so this is an aerial photograph. So what you see here, this is the athletic field. This is the parking lot where the project is gonna be taking place. This will be canopy number 1, number 2, and number 3. The resource areas are right here. That's from the aerial photograph. So what we did is we developed an existing conditions plan for the project. We had previously the wetland areas delineated by Brookfield Consulting, Pinebrook Consulting firm. That was done in February of this year, and wetland report was issued in March that we also submitted with the application. So we located that with our survey equipment and developed the 100-foot buffer, which is what you see this red line over here within this parking lot in question. What you see on the screen right now is this conceptual site plan with the canopy. As you can see, will be located in the center, and basically the only work will be the drilling of the footing. Everything else is overhead and entirely within the paved area, not increasing any impervious, not eliminating any pervious area. The first layer of protection will be the curb, the front curbing at the sidewalk, also the back, and there is a road in between. So basically no effect at all to the buffer zone and the wetlands system. We do call for some erosion and sedimentation control measures. Every single catch basin, we're gonna install seal sack on all of them. While the drilling is happening, steel fence will be installed in the area where the drill is gonna be, and any material will be disposed off-site. So nothing will be entering the drainage system, and therefore the wetlands will be clear. And that is pretty much it. Also like to add that the drainage configuration will not be affected because water will drip through the gaps that are in between the solar panels. There's like a half an inch gap. So watershed areas and contributing areas for each catchment will be exactly the same. With that, I leave up to questions. Be happy to answer any you may have.
Okay.
Jose, how is, I mean, so when the water drains off the parking lot now into catch basins, coming off of a flat roof, how is it draining off the roof or off the canopies?
So each panel has a gap all around. It's like a half an inch gap in between. So it will drip. It will work exactly the same as tree canopy, if you would, where rain hit the leaves and from there goes down to the ground. So the grades are not gonna be modified. So it will work exactly as it is right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Does anybody, so Bob, you asked your question. Do you have any comments about this?
Well, it's because this is a request for determination. It's up for the commission to decide whether or not you're satisfied that nothing more needs to happen, or that you would prefer that, you know, they file a notice of intent and then come back. That's entirely within the discretion of the commission. From my standpoint and the town standpoint, I don't see this to be an issue. And certainly the fact that it's promoting renewable energy is even though conservation functions about wetlands, I mean, it is a conservation issue as well, so.
Okay, thank you. And I would say, I think one of the big things, Jose, that you said was that you're gonna have some kind of barrier while you're drilling, and that the leftover, what you're drilling holes, that is going to be disposed of offsite. So I think that's big. It's not just running back into a drainage system. It's not going to cross over into anything. So I don't see any issue with that. How about commission members? Anybody have comments or concerns?
This seems pretty straightforward. I don't have any issues with it either. I know that area well.
Eileen, anything?
No, same thing. It's pretty straightforward.
Sarah? Did we lose Sarah?
We might have.
Do you know, does
I'm gonna let
anybody
her
know?
back in.
Oh,
Let me
okay,
just let her back in. She got bounced out.
all right. Does anybody know if there's solar panels that they have up at Great Hill? Are those solar panels or just a canopy up in the back parking area? Does anybody know?
There's solar panels on that back
Are they?
parking lot. Yeah.
So it must be similar to what's there then, is what
Yes.
they're doing down here. It's pretty neat, I think.
Now, the only thing I would suggest, Jose, is you need to convince them to put electric EV charging stations underneath the canopy.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely talk about it. We
Well,
actually have done that
the
in.
only reason I say that is that at Bristol Community College did a similar project, and they actually have both the solar panels and EV charging stations And when I was in Rhode Island, I was working with Select Energy to look at doing them at the state's park and ride, because it would encourage people to both use public transportation and then use the EV, but then National Grid got sold and that program went away. But just something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. I can talk to them about it. In fact, the one we did in Fuller Middle School in Framing does have the electric vehicle chargers. So that's something we've done before.
Nice. Did Sarah get back in?
She's back in, but she seems to be muted, so.
Sarah,
Hi,
did
yes.
you,
No,
Hi.
I'm here.
did you have any questions or concerns? Did you get to hear most of that?
Yeah, I heard most of it. The last I heard was the silt fence going in during construction, which thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
My only question is, and again, only because, and I might have missed it, and I apologize. With the solar, when it rains and all that, so this is going to be above the parking lot, so there's no concern for erosion from like rain runoff, I guess, is my question.
That is correct. It should
Okay.
not affect anything. It should work exactly the same way that it is right now.
Okay.
After construction.
I had asked the same question, Sarah.
Oh, well,
No,
Sorry
so I
to
mean, your
repeat.
question is good.
Well, no, yeah, it's a good question and you needed it answered. You just didn't hear it when Bob asked it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so is there anybody else? Is anybody in the waiting room? Bob?
There's no one in the waiting room. I just want to make sure that nope, everybody's here.
Okay, so with that, do we have a motion to close this hearing?
motion to close.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, Sarah Sperber,
Was there a second? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
roll call, Sarah,
Aye.
Eileen,
I,
Marilyn,
I,
myself, Wendy, aye. And do we have enough information that we can issue a negative determination, I think?
I would make a motion to recommend a negative determination on requested determination 0 Plymouth Street, map 22, lot 45.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you. And a roll call vote, Marilyn,
Aye.
Eileen,
I,
Sarah,
Aye.
and myself, Wendy, aye. And with that, Jose, you are all set.
Thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate your time.
Yep.
I
you're welcome.
apologize for the,
Have a good night.
confusion.
Yeah, we apologize for the mix-up.
It's okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, next up, Conservation Commission business, administrative items. Do we have any?
just that, Sarah, if you haven't picked it up already, your ideas there in our office. Marilyn, when it's convenient for you, you can coordinate with Nicole. There was a request that the Conservation Commission members have some type of identification because you have rights that other board members don't in terms of when you want to go out and do a site visit. So you can identify yourself to a property owner or someone else as being a member of the Conservation Commission. So we're not giving you badges, but we are giving you some identification that you're not just a nosy neighbor.
I asked for that for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
just got here.
Good day. Asked for years.
And Eileen, I don't know if you gotten yours done yet?
No one's even said anything to me. Like in the dark.
Well, I
missed
think it was an email that Nicole sent out a while ago to the four of us and
Did you?
said, we're gonna get them. If you have a picture, you can send it in, otherwise to contact her and set up a meeting to go in to have a picture taken. Like, I just got a picture from one of my, like a closer up from one of my pictures and I sent
Yeah.
it to her.
Yeah, and we can, I mean, if you come in, we can just snap a picture real quick, or you can take a picture of yourself and email it to her, and then we'll get it to the IT guys.
Great, thank you.
All right. Okay, anybody, is there anything else? Anybody questions? And welcome back to Maryland.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back to Maryland.
Good job, Wendy. Good job.
Thank you. We're working on it.
I
All
always
right,
rely
so-
on Zoo and Steve, so rely on Bob.
Yeah. So with that, I think if we're done, adjournment is next.
One
And we
last thing, Wendy, you mentioned at the last meeting, there was an upcoming meeting that you were not going to be able to make. Because you're going to be in
Oh.
Florida, I think.
Yeah, it's in June, so June
Okay.
22nd.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all aware of that, and either if we can have a quorum, then we can have a meeting. If we don't have a quorum, we can just cancel that meeting. And we'll see what we have coming in too.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Anybody else going on any vacations that they know of? Not off the
Sadly, no.
May 25th, that would be yeah, May 25th, I'm up in Vermont, so that is a second Thursday, so I would not be present on May 25th.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so with that, we have adjournment. Motion, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. A second,
Second,
and we're good.
all in favor, aye.
Aye,
Aye, aye.
Despite a bumpy start, we landed the plane well.
we did, we did.
Always, good teamwork.
All
All right,
right,
thank you, have a good night.
all right.
Good
You
night,
too,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, actually, Bob, I have a question. I mean, I couldn't see the screen when poor Rebecca's like personal things were up there. So obviously this is recorded. Can it be edited for that stuff to not?
Yeah, I mean, all
okay.
it was it was actually just her file identification,
Okay.
but yeah, we can go in there and try to take it out. I mean, there was no personal information. It was
Yeah.
just what the label of the file was.
Okay, all right, perfect. I again, I can only hear and I couldn't see, so I just wanted
Yeah,
to,
no, fair
sure she-
question for sure.
That's a good thought, yeah. All right.
you know, sure she wouldn't want that shared.
Yeah.
Not in this day and age.
Uh-uh.
All right, good
All
night,
right,
everyone.
everybody.
And good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.